A lot of people think making money in trading is all about being right more often than you're wrong. And while that sounds logical, the reality is way more complicated than that. Today I want to talk about something most traders don't understand until it's too late: hit rates, clusters of luck, and why even a winning system can blow up your account if you don't manage it properly. Hit rates, the reality check. Let's start with hit rates. If you're trading quality stocks with good technical setups, you can get your hit rate up to around 75%. That's pretty solid. But if you're trading Forex, that number comes down significantly. I don't care who you are. Talk to any institutional trader and they'll tell you the same thing. In the Forex market, if you can be right 55% to 60% of the time, you're right up there with some really good traders. Now, here's the problem. When your hit rate comes down, you start getting into these clusters of good luck and bad luck, and that's where most traders blow up. The roulette analogy. Think about a roulette wheel. Red and black. You'd think it should alternate. Red, black, red, black, red, black, right? But if you look at the electronic scoreboard on a roulette wheel, you'll see long runs of red and long runs of black. That's because life is mostly random. You get clusters. Your mother probably told you that bad things happen in threes. That's because in 8 observations, you're likely to get a cluster of 3. And your mother could only remember about 8 things, so she said bad things happen in threes. Now let's apply this to trading, the math of losing streaks. In a 50% system, you should be right 1 out of 2 times. You should be wrong 1 out of 2 times. But what's the probability of 2 losses in a row? It's 1/2 times 1/2. That's 1 in 4. That means in a 50% system, every 4 trades you're going to have 2 losses in a row and 2 wins in a row. Most people will give up after 2 losses in a row. But it gets worse. What's the probability of 3 losses in a row? 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. That's 1 in 8, which means you'll get a cluster of 3 losses in a row every 8 trades. 4 losses in a row, every 16 trades. 5 losses in a row, every 32 trades. 5 losses in a row. How good are you going to be at executing your system with precision after 5 losses in a row? That's the challenge. And that's why most people fail even with a winning system. The danger of good luck. Now here's the part most people don't expect. A cluster of good luck is actually more dangerous than a cluster of bad luck. Why? Because when you have 1 good trade, 2 good trades, 3 good trades in a row, something happens in your brain. You get euphoric. And when you become euphoric, the definition of euphoria is feeling invincible. You start to forget about position sizing. You forget about only risking 0.5% per trade. You say, let's have a big bet. Most people go bankrupt after a run of good luck, not after a run of bad luck, because they think they're God and they forget about all the risk management rules. It's happened to me on a few occasions, and I can tell you, it's brutal. Why I'm still around. So how have I survived all these years? I get currencies right 60% to 65% of the time. That means 30% to 35% of the time, I'm wrong. But the reason I'm still around is simple. When I'm wrong, I lose a little bit. And when I'm right, I add to my position. I like to be 3 times bigger when I'm right than when I'm wrong. I'm not successful because I read markets better than anybody else. I'm successful because I manage risk exceptionally well. Many of my friends say to me, how can you be a trader and be so conservative? When I go to the airport and rent a car, I take the windscreen insurance. I take the tire waiver. I take everything. And the reason I'm still around after all these years, while so many others have come and gone, is that I manage risk exceptionally well. The objective of doing business, whether you're in media, stocks, or Forex, is to do business at the least risk possible. The takeaway. You can make a fortune with a 50% system if you make 3 times more when you're right than you lose when you're wrong. But most people will lose with that system, not because the system doesn't work, but because they can't handle the clusters of good luck and bad luck. Manage your risk. Stay disciplined. And remember, survival is more important than being right. See you in the next one.